being on time, and hopefully a couple more people will show up before we're done. Before anything else, Raynette is on vacation, Bryn is on vacation, and I believe Anthony is also on vacation. So that's why Raynette's not here. You've got the minutes. We'll skip over those for now. Welcome, Elise.
Thank you.
If you would just take a minute and tell us just a little bit about yourself. You don't have to. These meetings are recorded, so, and there might be people watching live, just so you know.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You want to know personally about me or a professional part of it?
Whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay, my name is Elise Baker, and I've been a resident of Syracuse for more than 50 some odd years, well, almost 60 years. I really take pride in the community, and I want to do what I could do to help balance it out, to make things right, whether it's within this department or other departments. I'm an advocate, especially for the youth in our community. I've owned my own business, and I've worked in the community for a number of years. I owned a flower shop downtown for the last 13 years, and just recently put it into my home because they're doing what they're doing downtown. That's all I can say is. I want to be a part of this board, basically because I believe I can bring something to the board that could help in whatever way I can so that we can get things right in our city and we can all work together, because that's what it's all about, the unity. And I'm a real person and a stickler on love, so that big thing is what I believe I can bring, and working with other people so we can, put a squash to some of the things that go on that we all can play a part in and help in our community to make it better. For the last 7 years, I started something called Prayer in the Park for the community at Kirk Park, and I promised, and it was based on spirituality, I promised God that I would do it for 7 years. And last year was the 7th year, and I ended it last year, and through that process, people were baptized. Last year, 14 people. The year before that, 21 and 8. So a lot of people were baptized, and I thought that was a part that if we all strengthen ourselves spiritually, then we can bring good into the community. The other part of that is my degree and stuff as far as education is in criminal justice, and I like it as far as trying to figure out things and do things and better things. I'm one biological son, but I've been a foster mother of 33 children through the state, and I've helped raise the other children. So my primary focus, I worked with at-risk children in the school districts, and have a 18-year, I retired from the school district. So that's the base of me.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
We look forward to working with you. I think we're going to skip the expectations and rules, ground rules, just because there's only a few of us here, so we'll wait. Activities in June, there were 10 complaints, 10 complaints filed, 4 were online, 5 were in person. 1 was filed first with the police department and then sent over to us, which brings our total complaints for 2024 to 44, which is about on track for where we've been in the past years. We average about 100 a year. The budget just started a week ago, so we're pretty good right now. I think that we did well on our last year's budget. Okay, so the light green paper is last year's budget. And so we spent all but $500, which I thought was pretty good. So, and I know the contract, the investigator position has been posted on Indeed. We've had, at the last I knew was 25 applicants through Indeed. I don't think that we've vetted them yet to see that they're all qualified or, you know, who should get the interviews first, et cetera. Hopefully Rainette can work on that as soon as she gets back. Activities, there was a lot going on in June. We did Juneteenth parade and tabled at the Juneteenth event downtown. We did the Pride Parade. We did not table at the Pride Parade, at the Pride event, but we walked around a little bit and we had our shirts on so people knew who we were. They could ask us questions. It was fun. We did the block party, which was very interesting because the weather was awful. So rather than having it at Meacham Field, last minute got moved to one of the schools. So I think the lesson learned here is if you're planning an outdoor event in June or July, you should probably have a backup plan right from the beginning. That way it could be on the posters and people would know. I mean, a lot of people showed up considering it was a last minute move. It was a lot of fun. There were lots of kids there, lots of vendors with really good information. So kudos to the staff for putting that together because they did a really good job. And hopefully it can be an annual event and maybe next year we can have it at Meacham because Meacham appears to be the best place to do it just because it's on main streets and people can drive by and see it. It's, you know, easily accessible by bus. So it'll be fun. We'll do it again. We also had a few hearings. They went okay. Can't really comment on them very much. We have not rescheduled, to the best of my knowledge, we have not rescheduled the Police Liaison Committee meeting. If you remember, that was supposed to be in April, but the timing of that was not good with the murder of 2 police officers. It was like a couple of days before we were supposed to have that meeting. So we canceled it. So hopefully by the end of July, beginning of August, we can have that meeting and meet with the chief. NACOL trainings continue to go on, at least just so you know, we are a member of NACOL, which of course I don't remember. It's the National Association of Citizen Oversight type things. I don't know what the NACOL stands for, but so you'll start getting emails from them telling you when their training is. It's all online. If you are interested in the training, to sign up for it. Even if you're interested, but that particular time doesn't work, once you've signed up for it, you can access it for 3 months after. So if it's something that you can't do that particular day and it's something you're interested in, sign up for it so that you can watch it at a later time. I guess we're up to new business. Anybody have anything? Anything you want to say tonight? No public comment. Does anybody have anything that they want to talk about since we're here?
I have a question.
Okay.
I know we were talking about these different meetings and different things that you do as a part of the CRB board. How does that directly affect the other stuff? I guess because to my understanding right now is the CRB board is to help the strategies in regards to policing and community based on issues and case files and all those things, or files that have been turned in. How does those things directly affect
Okay,
the
we'll
outside stuff
we'll do a
affected?
little.
That way you can give me an idea.
Yes,
of
no,
what's-
that's fine.
What's what?
Like there's several different arms of the CRB. So there's the response to complaints,
Okay.
which are either filed with us or with the police department.
Is that the primary stuff? Is that primary or is it?
Hard to say. It depends.
Okay.
Okay. Obviously, there.
I
Yeah.
think depending upon who you speak to with the board and versus what's in the ordinance, like me personally, I think that every aspect is all priority is about, you know, communicating with the community so they can know how to make a complaint if necessary, educating them on what to do when you have an interaction with a police officer, and what can we do to build our relationship with SPD, saying like when it comes to policies and procedures and trainings and things of that nature. So it's kind of multifaceted where everything is important and everything has its place, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, but I'm just hearing, I'm trying to process.
Oh, that, certainly understand. We do community outreach
Okay.
and public education. So sometimes that takes the form of going to events around the city and having a table where we provide information. Sometimes it is going to something that a church is doing, that they've asked us to come and have a presence. And like Hatisha said, one of our biggest goals is also trying to teach people how to interact with the police when they are stopped, or just in general. Some advice, some rules, some things that you really shouldn't do, and some things that are okay to do. So that mostly the youth at that point, or the older teens, young adults. We've gone into the Boys and Girls Clubs, we've gone into the schools, the after-school programs at some of the parks, and just meet with people, pretty much to, answer questions that they have and let them know that we're here.
Okay.
As far as like, there are a bunch of committees that, we'll talk to you once you feel a little bit more comfortable being here and which ones you're interested in being part of. The Police Liaison Committee, for example, we meet with the police chief and some of his deputy chiefs, depending on who's available for the day, the attorneys, and we go over things that have happened in the last quarter. That meets quarterly. Sometimes it's to talk about policy, sometimes it's to talk about things that have come up on our radar when complaints have been made that don't necessarily rise to the level of having a hearing, but may require some conversation with the police department saying, why is this happening this way? So we get a lot of those questions answered that way. There's board development and training, which not only NACOL, but any other aspect of training that we as a board feel we need, or Raynette seems to think we need, or the council or whoever would recommend training, and then we would decide if we were going to have that training or not, and if we were, how we were going to do that. That's really about what we do. Raynette and the staff handle the day-to-day stuff. We do the hearings, we do these meetings, we do executive session meetings where we talk about cases. We do not talk about cases publicly. And, I'm sure more questions will come up as we move along. That's about what we do.
Okay. I may chime in every now and then when something hit. Is that all right?
That's perfectly
Okay.
fine, yes.
I just want to make sure I get a clear
No,
understanding.
for sure, and we want people to understand what they're doing and what we do. Mustafa comes to all our meetings. He's been coming to all our meetings.
Okay.
Other than that, we don't have a lot of people coming to all our meetings. We do have some people who watch on YouTube, because we are up on the city's YouTube page.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Just
so,
remember to talk into your microphone, because we do get complaints frequently that we don't speak loud enough for the people who are not in the room.
okay.
And that being said, that's all I've got. I think we will schedule a Zoom meeting to go over the cases, because there's only 3 of them. It shouldn't take long. We can go downstairs for a minute, too. Okay? All right. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
We go down to the iLab, which is on